This episode of the Rocker Skating Podcast is brought to you by John Wilson Blades. For more than 329 years, John Wilson has been perfecting the art of blade making in Sheffield, England. And while their history runs deep, their eyes are always on the future. That's why they created the Revolution, the world's most advanced figure skating blade. It is the perfect fusion of centuries-old craftsmanship and cutting-edge technology, delivering unmatched precision, responsiveness, and performance. That's why the majority of world and Olympic champions trust John Wilson. Because when history meets innovation, you get the revolution. Welcome to the Rocker Skating Podcast, part 3 of our Milano Cortina preview. There's so many parts because there's so much skating to be had at the Olympics. And it is time for the men, because what more interesting thing to preview than men's figure skating at the Olympics?
Hi, Jackie.
Hi.
I am a little bit psychic, and I can tell you what's going to happen in this event.
Oh,
beyond a shadow of a doubt.
Wow, beyond shadow of a doubt.
The men will men. They are going to men. Believe it or not, there will be some menning.
I would like it that if we got very surprised. I mean, Europeans was a mess. Four continents was not a mess.
Yeah.
But there were more Olympians going to Europeans than there were going to four continents. U.S. Nationals was a mess. Japan Nationals was okay. Grand Prix Final was really good for the most part. Michelle always gives me this look when I say Grand Prix Final was really good. I always talk about like the last 5 of the men's free skate where it was...
Well, you're right about the final, just not Shidorov.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Shidorov was the one who couldn't, but everybody else was good.
Someone will always come through in men for you.
Given this field, yes.
Yeah. But I feel like in the men's event, the podium conversation is not as wide open as it might otherwise be, because we have a very strong favorite for gold who has been skating really well this season, in Ilia Malinin. And then we have a couple podium contenders who have also been skating really well this season. And then we have just a whole bouquet of men who are capable of getting podium-worthy scores, who are very, very unpredictable. And I, tend not to actually get those scores, despite being capable of them.
The bouquet of men.
A bouquet, yeah.
What kind of bouquet are we going to get? That's really the question.
Yeah, it's going to be black roses, I think.
I would like to be more optimistic than that, because so many of these guys, when they are on, they are so good and so good to watch. It's one of the reasons for me that from like 2014 to 2022, my favorite discipline was the men, because there was so much variety. There was so many great skaters who could give you these like sort of life-affirming performances of like, oh, this is why I like figure skating, and you can say that about this group too, except they're just so much less consistent.
Yeah.
Now, it'll be always tough to ever top the like bevy of incredible skaters that was like Nathan, Yuzu, Shoma, Javi, Bo Young, Patrick, like that group of 6 that was going around for a few years. They were just so good, and the competition was really like, you just never knew what was going to happen. Whereas here, it's been Ilia Malinin for 4 years.
Yeah.
And people keep talking about how, it's Ilia's first Olympics. It's a little bit like Nathan. It's not like Nathan at all. Because Nathan went into 2018 having really had one breakout season, one and a
Mhm.
half, and
Mhm.
he did not come in as the favorite, nor like not even the overwhelming favorite as people were saying that he was for some reason.
Yeah.
He made a huge mistake in the short program and then had to make a comeback.
Mhm.
Leah has been ever since 2022 has been anointed as the one who is going to win this
Yeah.
Olympic Games, mm, and has only improved both
Mhm.
technically and artistically over the past
Mhm.
4 years, and comes in as the heavy, heavy favorite.
Yeah. With a technical arsenal that he can reliably deliver that is completely untouchable by anyone, even in the same hemisphere as him. I mean, he is just he's so far ahead, and he would need a real implosion to not win. I mean, I think 3 major mistakes in the in the
In
free
the free
skate,
dance,
in the free skate, he still could hold on to it. I think it would take
and
because of the way the scoring is set up and the
yeah,
value of the quads he's gonna do, and knowing him, I think he's probably gonna go for 7 quads in his free skate.
and he doesn't need to.
No, but he's doing it. He's just like, "I'm absolutely laying it down." And I think he also this is important to him because there's a lot of rumors and stories and thoughts that the system is gonna change somewhat after the season, and there'll be less jumps in the free skate. And it's like he needs to do this at the Olympics because he did it at Worlds. He needs to do it at the Olympics and say, "Here it is." You know? Well, he did 6 at Worlds, I think.
Well, and he did 7 at Grand Prix final,
Yeah.
right? I
Yeah.
think that the question for me is how are his boots?
But
Because
yeah, that's good
we saw
question, yeah.
we saw those boot issues at nationals, and
Mhm.
he was breaking them in. So
Yeah.
that was part of the process, but also because he had to sort of break them in earlier than he would have liked.
Mhm.
It was messing with his timing. It was messing with his
Yeah.
foot. It was messing with a lot of stuff. And there's sometimes also that I wonder, like, why isn't he just 100% focused on training for the Olympics? Like, I think he was like in Pittsburgh doing some random thing,
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
week and a half before he leaves for the Olympics.
Yeah.
Um, and maybe that's like, maybe he needs that distraction. Maybe
Mhm.
that, there is, we talked about this season, there is this change in the way that he's approached competitions this year where it feels like something's worked for him more than it
Mhm.
has in the past few seasons. But it's not a done deal. It would require a lot of mistakes,
Mhm.
but it also requires him to be landing the majority of his jumps the way that he usually lands them, which is fairly effortlessly.
Mhm.
Like it can't be like a foot down or a hand down or
Yeah.
once you start taking away the grades of execution, and if he's going with he's if he's going with stuff where he's getting minus ones and minus twos, the that's where the base value advantage starts going away,
Mhm.
because if Yuma Kagiyama does his stuff at to the best of his ability, his base value is lower, but those grades of execution will save the day, right? Like
Yeah.
those are the differences that you have to look at, and um, the difference between a perfectly done Ilia Malinin quad Lutz
Mhm.
versus a quad Lutz where he under rotates and puts a hand down
Yeah.
is like 8 points
Yeah. I mean, if
because
you look at
those grades of execution are so high.
yeah. Was it last season at the Grand Prix final when he got so tight and he didn't win the free skate, he lost it to Yuma? I mean, I feel like that's the kind of skate that would allow someone else to win. Um, and
But
you
it
need the
also
caller to be
yeah,
accurate too.
but it also requires whoever it is, whether it's Yuma or
Mhm.
somebody else, to be perfect or almost
Yeah.
perfect. Like
Walk through the door.
that's how it has to be for
Mhm.
somebody else to beat Ilya here.
Mhm.
Um, and we have been hearing that Yuma Kagiyama is bringing back the quad flip.
I mean, let's go.
Let's go.
I love to see it.
And he was like casually putting out a quad loop in on Instagram. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yuma, what are you doing?
Stay safe, buddy.
Are you
Save it
playing
for
with
after the Olympics.
our heads? I mean,
Yeah.
when I remember at in Beijing,
Mhm.
he was in practice going over that quad loop over and over
Mhm.
again because he wanted to get that in there for his
Mhm.
programs there. Um, and he knows that he needs the base value to be
Mhm.
competitive for gold,
Yeah.
and he's not going there for silver. As much as he knows realistically it's
Yeah.
going to be tough, he's not going there for silver.
Yeah. He already has an Olympic silver medal.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see the team event, what's going to happen there, right? Like, I think all of those dynamics from the team event are also going to cross over into
Mhm.
the men's event, which will happen second after the rhythm dance happens.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be very so Yuma Kagiyama has not been super consistent this season. Like he's put out strong performances, but I don't think we've seen him do a completely clean free skate with all of
Right.
his quads in it.
Right.
I mean, if he did do that and didn't win, I feel like that'd be a really hard pill to swallow. But I also feel like that's kind of the reality of what we're looking at unless Ilia has major mistakes.
I mean, we all know how much I love this program, and I got a chance to talk to the composer of the music, Christopher Tin, and he had a lot of great things to talk about in how he works with figure skaters and how this program came about. I just want to get started on what do you know about figure skating and what has your involvement been besides just realizing that people are skating to your music?
I, to be honest, I know almost nothing about the technical aspects of the sport. I do skate a little because I played a
Oh, do
little bit
you?
of hockey, but
Ah,
yeah. But to be honest, my wife is the big figure skating fan.
is that right?
Um, and when the email came in from Lori Nickel, she was like, "Oh my God, Lori Nickel just emailed you." So she is the one. We watch various routines together and so forth, and she's the one who analyzes it. You know, she's like, "Oh, he landed off axis there," and things like that. And I'm just, it looked great to me. I don't know what you're talking about, but this is all awesome.
I mean, very cool. Even before the Lori Nicole email to you, right? There has been a number of skaters who have skated to your music, and I think you know that. And you are one of the public musicians out there who really you appreciate when figure skaters use your music. I don't know if you've heard about this, but there's been this whole controversy over the past week around music rights and the whole underbelly of this, like, how do you clear music, how do you clear performances and all of that sort of stuff, but you have embraced all of it, and I'd love to hear kind of your thought process on that as well as somebody who's an artist.
Well, I mean, I think it's just the most incredible thing ever. Honestly, I don't understand why other artists aren't all over this. And actually, I have some friends who are of the same mindset as me. Like, I think that you're doing yourself a disservice by not letting your music being used in this context. I mean, what possible downside is there to any of this? Like, what is the problem? Like, do you feel like these skaters aren't doing your music justice? Are you kidding me? Like, I
Right.
just don't understand this attitude. And so, I I really welcomed the conversation with Lori and Carolina Costner, who's Yuma's
Yep.
coach. I mean, when I found out that Lori had been choreographing a lot of my stuff to figure skating, I started tweeting about it. I started like following some of these skaters on social
Yep.
media. I mean, I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. And maybe it's because I have a tiny bit of skating background, though not figure skating, hockey.
Right.
But I just did not. I just didn't see why anyone would fight this. It makes no sense to me,
I mean, we so appreciate it in the community. I mean, also the more you get airplay with figure skaters, the more they're gonna also then play your stuff, right? Because now some of this is becoming figure skating history. The piece that you've done for Turando and the sort of Yuma Kagiyama version of it, right? It's being so well received right now. It truly is one of those pieces where, when you think about figure skating and you think about the Olympics, we often talk about like Olympic level music, like something that's going to leave a grand impression on the audience, on the judges, on the everybody around you. And that piece of music that you've arranged for Yuma for his free skate is just, it's so grand. I heard it just today, right, in practice, and I got goosebumps just watching him skate to that piece of music. And so it's great. I mean, you, as I was saying earlier, you are one of a few kind of music celebrities within the figure skate community. There's people like Jennifer Thomas, and there's people like Joe Hisaishi, who a lot of figure skaters use different pieces of their music, and they've also embraced the figure skaters who's used them. So I love that about this whole arrangement, and I hope you continue to love figure skating, because figure skating loves you back.
Well, the holidays have come and gone once again, but if you've forgotten to get that special someone in your life a gift, well, Mint Mobile is extending their holiday offer of half off unlimited wireless. So here's the idea. You get it now. You call it an early present for next year. What do you have to lose? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Limited time 50% off regular price for new customers. Upfront payment required. $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds may slow after 50 gigabytes per month when network is busy. See terms.
Oh, that's very sweet. Actually, Jennifer Thomas is a friend of mine, and yeah, I know that she's had a lot of success in the skating world too with her music. So it's cool to join her in this world.
So tell me about the original piece of this I was reading, right, was that maybe the director of the Washington National Opera, her son was like playing a video game, and the video game was Civilization 6 or something. It featured your music, which I think you won a Grammy for, and she then became interested in you and like wrote to you about creating this new ending to the unfinished Turando, and curious to hear how that all came about.
Well, yeah, that's basically the essence of the story. My theme song for Civilization 6, it's sung in Italian and it sounds like an opera chorus, but it is not from an opera. And so she heard this coming through her son's bedroom door, and she said, why is my teenage son listening to opera? Like, he never does this. What is going on here? And why don't I know this piece? And so she knocks on his door, and then he opens the door, and it turns out he's actually playing Civilization, and he's not actually listening to an opera. And so then a few days later, I get an email from her. She did a little more due diligence, asked her colleagues in the Washington classical music scene, like, can this guy do it? Like, it's not exactly...
Is this guy legit?
Is he legit? Like, could he actually write an opera? She actually vetted me very deeply, as I came to discover. And a few days later, I got an email that was like, would you like to meet me? I would like to discuss whether you'd be interested in writing opera. And I said, of course I'd like to meet you. Are you crazy? Like, this is the coolest thing ever, right? In case you hadn't noticed, I'm a guy who leaps at opportunity, and I just embrace just new things and just so new opportunity. I just love it. It makes life interesting, right? And so we met.
And had you done the opera before?
Oh, God, no. No way. Are you kidding me? Like, it's not exactly, they don't exactly hand opera commissions around. Like, it's not exactly a thing,
for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not exactly, the whole video game composer to opera composer pipeline isn't a thing, It really isn't. So
it's a quantity of one right now. It's
a quantity of one, right? Unless I don't know something, but I'm pretty sure I'm the only one thus far. But so, we met, and she's like, what do you want to write an opera about? And I said, I have no idea. Nobody's ever asked me this before, but yeah, let me think up some ideas. And so, for a few months, we threw ideas back and forth. I was like, let me do this, or maybe it's based on this movie or this old story, and nothing really landed until she said, I have an idea. I've always wanted to commission a new ending to Giacomo Puccini's unfinished opera, Turandot. And by the way, she pronounces it Turandot, and so I pronounce it Turandot. I know there's a lot of controversy. Is it Turandot or Turandot?
Yeah.
Goes, it's divided.
And the figure skating community generally says Turandot.
Turandot, okay, yeah. Opera, it's kind of 50-50, honestly. So she said, I'd always wanted to commission a new ending to Turandot, and is this something you'd be interested in? And I said, yes, are you kidding? Of course. Like, there's plenty of opportunity to write an opera on, like, a topic of my choosing in the future. But how many times do you get a commission to finish Puccini's opera? That is historically a very rare thing. I'm only the fourth composer to have been commissioned to do this. And so I leapt at that opportunity. I spent years studying Turandot, listening to it and just constantly. So between the project unfolded between 2018 and 2024, to be honest. I started studying in 2018, and in 2024 is when it went up at the Kennedy Center.
Wow.
And it was just a tremendously artistically rewarding project.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And like, you always hope that what you compose will continue to have a life afterwards, right? And I never expected that the second chapter of its life would be Lori and Carolina and Yuma and the Olympics. I mean, this is, you can't ask for a better sort of extension of what this project has been. And it came about because, as you had mentioned before, I had noticed that all of these routines had been popping up online, and I was watching them and getting excited and just kind of like, following some of these young skaters. And that's when Carolina Costner tweeted to me, DM'd me on Twitter. And she said, hey, the reason you're seeing all of these is because Lori Nickel has been a fan of yours and has been choreographing a lot of your music to figure skating. And I said, oh, can I meet her? Like, this is great. Like, how awesome is this? And this is, of course, when my wife freaked out that, I'm trading DMs with Carolina Costner and Lori Nickel is emailing me, right?
I mean, these are legends in the sport.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, what the? Okay, so anyway, like, I'm loving it. My wife's loving it. And so, I struck up kind of like a long distance friendship with the two of them. And then about a year ago, I saw that, the previous season was coming to an end. And so I actually emailed Lori and I said, hey, so, okay, I know the Winter Olympic Games are coming up in 26. Is there a chance that any of your skaters are actually going to make the Olympics? And she said, well, I know that you did a completion of Turandot. Is there any chance that we can hear it? And I said, oh, yeah, let me arrange for this. And so Washington National Opera sent them a preview copy. They took a couple of weeks, and then they got back to me and said, okay, we think it's great. Here's what's going on. We've got this guy, Yuma Kagiyama. Look him up. I'm like, oh, dang. He's looking for music for his free skate leading up to the Olympics. And because the Olympics are taking place in Milan, on the 100th anniversary of the world premiere of Turandot, which took place in Milan, we're thinking, wouldn't it be great if he had some music that came from Turandot to skate to, but was fresh? Now, Turandot is very well known because of the aria Nessun Dorma, right? And I know a lot of skaters have skated to that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, right? It's big in sports, right? I mean, I think it was the FIFA anthem in the 90s. I mean, it was like, it's
right.
A well-known tune. And so this is very savvy thinking on their part. Like, is there a version of Nessun Dorma that nobody's ever heard before that's even grander?
Yeah.
That we can, have Yuma skate to and just kind of like unveil at the Olympics. And I thought, oh, this is good stuff. Let's make this happen. Now, the problem was there was not a good sounding recording of Nessun Dorma, of my completion of Turandot, that he could skate to. There was only just sort of the video capture that they did at the Kennedy Center just to, archive the material.
Oh, they
right?
never did a pro shot.
No, the audio wasn't good enough, honestly.
Ah, okay.
Because it's recorded live, so you hear people walking around and stuff like that. It's not great. But I told them I've always wanted to make a studio recording of my ending of Turandot. Uh, and I mean, I can't think of a better reason to do it right now than to also have it be used for Yuma's routine at the Olympics. So I'm like, let's do this. I'm gonna book some recording time at Abbey Road Studios. That's my studio of choice. It's in London. It's pretty well known. We're gonna record my 18-minute ending of my of Turandot, right? My completion of Turandot. Not the whole opera, just my ending. But while we're there, I'm going to record some additional material so we can piece together a special medley for Yuma to skate to. And so they thought this was a great idea. They helped me raise funds for this actually, and Yuma contributed as well. I mean, it was a very collaborative team effort for a while.
Wow.
And for the first couple of months, I worked with Lori to kind of figure out exactly what this routine would be. And so I would be on the phone with her and she would say all this stuff, which I didn't really understand at the time, but I was trying to learn, on the fly, right? Like, what is this? I'm like, what's a Sal Chow? I'm like just saying all this stuff, right? And she's just kind of teaching me. And I would send like piano sketches to her, like, okay, here, what do you think of the timing of this, and what do you think of this moment here? The things we had to take into consideration were not only like, Yuma's routine timings, like, when things had to happen, how long he needed for these moments and when he needed a break, and things like that. But also, how do I piece it together so that the music actually flows? Because, a lot of figure skating music edits are just kind of rough, They just kind of chop something up. And I'm like, let's make this really, really seamless. So we sketched it out to piano, and I think Yuma skated to it a couple times just as a piano arrangement. We finessed it. And so by the time we got to Abbey Road in June, this is maybe 3 or 4 months after we first started talking about this, I knew what was going to be usable from my main recording of the record, but also what additional material I needed to record specifically for Yuma. And so I tacked on some extra recording at different tempos to match Yuma's routine. And we did all this. I take it back to LA and I start editing it together, mixing it, putting together Yuma's special routine. And the mix, by the way, of the music was very different because you're gonna want to hear the music a little drier when you're on the ice because there's the roar of the crowd, and depending on which speaker you might be near in an arena, you might hear a different aspect of the music. And so the way you approach a figure skating mix is actually very different, as I learned, than you making a record mix. You make it drier, you make it punchier and louder, more compressed. You make it more mono sounding, so that no matter what speaker Yuma's near in the arena, he's still hearing kind of the same thing. And boy, we spent months and months and months honing it. Like, there's a lot of loudness issues. I mean, making it loud enough in all moments so he could, hear the music. We spent the better part of 2025 working on this thing. And I'm just so excited, actually, to hear it in the arena because I've never heard it in an arena yet.
And you're going to be
Yuma.
here.
I'm going to be there. I'm going. I'll
So
be there.
great.
I've got my Yuma towels. Like, I'm ready.
So amazing. Well, Christopher, first of all, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It's been great to just hear this entire process, and also I love your enthusiasm for the sport. I love that you love that we embrace you as a composer, and it's very cool to see all that. I mean, also, who better to have in your corner to compose something new and special than Carolina Costner and Lori Nickel and Yuma Kagiyama. So I have no doubt you're going to really love what you're going to see, and excited to have you in Milan to actually see this whole thing come to life. So hope you enjoy it. Hope the viewers and listeners enjoy it. But thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
I mean, what a great just general disposition from Christopher Tin. I mean, he's obviously become a figure skating fan. It's so great. But, back to the podium, Michelle, where do you think everybody fits in with this podium?
If Yuma does even what he's just been doing this season, he's on the podium and it's probably silver. I think his biggest challenge is probably coming from Shun Sato, who has branded himself as Mr. Reliable this year and with the, most effortless, beautiful quad luts you've ever seen. And I think,
and he's beaten Yuma multiple times in the free skate.
Yeah. And I mean, I think in a scenario where Ilia has an implosion, Shun is also in the conversation. I think still behind Yuma, but I feel like those three are reliably, predictably going to be the podium.
I'm so curious about that from you.
I mean, outside of it, I'd love to see Junwon Cha get in there, but he's got some work to do. I mean, based on what he did in Four Continents, I feel like he's getting there. I'd love to see him. And then I think Peter Gumenik has a really good chance because he has like 5 quads planned in his free skate. We'll see how his components look.
And we'll see what they call those quads, too, in terms of rotation.
Yeah. And I mean, I want to say Adam Xiaowen-Fa has a shot. I have no faith in him doing a clean free skate. I just don't feel like it's going to happen. I love his skating. I mean, I feel like he should be always in the podium conversation, but he just takes himself out of it. And, I still am not too crazy about his programs this season. I like them, but I don't love them. And he's someone who's put out a lot of programs that I've loved. And then also, we have Kalmura, who on the right day is a big factor and can get a big score. But these are question marks, And I mean, of course, there's always Grassel too, but I don't know, no.
I think Daniel Grassel, after Europeans, is on that same trajectory that he's been in post Grand Prix final every single season, where he just doesn't have a good second half.
Yeah.
I don't know how, frankly, he recovers from that Europeans performance that quickly.